Welcome back to the Move Better Project. Cozy season here in Vancouver, doing a little fireside chat. Got the cozy sweater, cozy fire, cozy dog just out of frame. So one of the biggest things that limits people from having a really nice squat is ankle flexibility. I would argue it's probably the biggest limiter. And I'll show you what I mean for a sec. First I'll kind of show you in this position here with the half of the squat. So if I want to be able to do a really beautiful clean squat butt to ankles, and there's a way to say that has alliteration that's not appropriate for a family channel. I want to have my heel on the ground, my entire foot is flat, right? But this knee has to be able to track forward. Otherwise I'm going to lose my weight going back when I get into the really deep bottom part of the squat. So to have my knee go forward with my heel still on the ground, I have to have this angle here be able to get pretty short. That's called dorsiflexion. So what that looks like in terms of a full squat is I start from the top, and you can see as I go down I can get to parallel without a lot of ankle flexibility, but to get really deep I need that ankle flexibility, that dorsiflexion range of motion. So if I show you from the front what that looks like, feet again shoulder width like we always do on the squat, my hips go back, my knees are coming forward. And that's what I need to be able to get all the way deep. And I can feel kind of in this position what it feels like side to side, what it looks like side to side with my knees tracking forward. And then we're gonna do a little fix today to help with that. So what we're gonna do, one of the tissues that really limits that ability to go into dorsiflexion is the calf muscle. So you got two of them. We got the gastrocnemius, we just call it gastroc a lot, this big meaty part up here. And that crosses both the ankle and the knee, does flexion here at the knee, does plantar flexion at the ankle. And then soleus, which is this part here, and then that goes up underneath the gastroc, and that one just crosses the ankle. So we can think of it as two separate muscles, or we can kind of think of them as sort of this unit here, the sort of medial calf complex, and this lateral calf complex. And what we're going to work on today is really this lateral calf, which for most people is going to be a lot tighter than the medial portion. So we got a couple tools here. This is a foam roller, and this is a lacrosse ball. These are things a lot of people have at home. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, it's a real cheap thing to get. So basic calf smash with the foam roller. What I want to start with here, whenever I'm doing foam rolling, I'm thinking I want to get deep pressure. It's not about doing something back and forth really quickly. That's really not going to produce a lot of change. What I want to do is convince my muscle and my brain with deep pressure and a little bit of movement that it is okay to relax some of the tension that has built up, and it's okay to allow me to move a little bit more. So I've got this is kind of level 1 pressure here. Level 2 is to put the other leg on top. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to go side to side, and I'm just below, so my knee joint is right here. All right, and I just want to be just distal to the knee joint. I'm putting a little added pressure, and I'm rolling from inside to outside. And what you'll feel as you do that is that there's a line that goes from your knee down to your ankle where it feels tight. It's going to feel like there's a steel cable inside your calf. And I can start by just pushing down and slowly rolling over that. And just putting a lot of pressure down, using my breath. Take a big deep breath and breathe out, relax. And I want to get onto that really tight spot. I want to stay on top of it. I can smash over it a couple times just to feel where it is. And then once you found it, all right, I'm on that lateral gastroc on the outside of my calf. And I'm pushing down. And I'm adding pressure with my other leg. And then I'm going to do a contract, relax. So that technique is where I've got pressure on the spot I want to work on, where I'm a little bit tender, and I'm going to contract the muscle by pointing my toe, breathe in, contract, and then breathe out, relax. And that's just each little cycle of that contract, relax is going to allow you to sink a little deeper into the tissue, desensitize it, reduce some of the tension. And then there's another technique we can use called tack and stretch. And as I go, I'm kind of working my way down away from the knee. I'm going to push down hard into that tight section of my calf. I'm going to contract, and then I'm going to stretch by bringing my toes up. So again, I'm finding the tight spot, push down, and then contract and stretch. catch as I come back. And I'm just working my way down from the top all the way down closer to the ankle. And this is kind of a blunt instrument. As you get, when you're first working on a really tight tissue, I love this kind of thing because it's got a big surface, it's pretty dull, it's not too intense. But if you are a real freak like me and you want the punishment, slash if you want a little bit more detail work, the lacrosse ball is great for that. So again, I can just put it in here in my calf, and I'm coming out here, pushing down. Again, this is going to be a lot more intense. I'm not loading up. If you can handle that, you're a braver man than me. But I'm just finding that really tight line of tissue, getting onto it, contract, and then relax, or even adding a little bit of over stretch with that tack and stretch technique. Again, add a little bit of pressure with my hand here, but pushing down onto the tight spot and then stretching through that tissue. So that's kind of the basic technique for rolling out really any tissue that we do, but applied to the calf. And then let's take a look at what happened to my squat. So it was pretty much more or less equal before. I'm going to come down to a squat. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but my right knee is way more able to come forward, and I promise I'm not faking that. That's not just don't want it to be true, but bam, I've got a really nice ability to get that knee forward on the right. Left side, not quite as much. So, easy way to improve a little dorsiflexion, work out a really tough, stiff tissue, especially for those of you runners out there. That calf will get really tight and gnarly on you. We will still want to be able to squat, so we got to work it out. All right? Smash calf with the foam roller, with the lacrosse ball, whatever works for you. Try it out. Squat better. Move better. See you next time.